Hello, everybody. It's Shalyn with the Art of Being Enough podcast. I am so excited that you are here. I am joined today by Michelle. Michelle, you are a wonderful guest here on the podcast. How are you today?
You know what? I'm doing well. Excited to be here. Absolutely excited.
Good. So, what I want to do is just to read your beautiful bio, okay?
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. So, Michelle, first of all, let me say I am thoroughly impressed by the amount of things that you have accomplished in your life. I love this. I am so happy. So here you
Thank
are,
you.
you're a certified professional coach, CPC, and social media manager. You will go on to say that a certified professional coach, and well, you are a certified professional coach and business consultant with 10 plus years of experience in running, managing, expanding businesses, along with consulting with business owners in startup and development projects. Huh. One other thing I have to say that I love that you have noted here is that you talk about how your goals include partnering with entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and everyday brilliant people in creating multiple streams of income. Do I need to go on? Yes, because what else? You do everything. You go on to talk about how you are a current owner and manager of the Life Group Empowerment Zone, and that is located in Midtown, New Center, right in Detroit. And then this zone, it empowers, it just empowers you to discover, launch, and expand your ideas. So this is awesome. Looks like you've got a new book here, and that's just called The Restorative Nature of God, a thought life that reflects the restorative nature of God. And it is available on Amazon. But Michelle, can I just kick this whole conversation? Because we're in the conversation room, as we can see here. This is the
Yes,
conversation
I
room.
like
Like the conversation room?
I like it. Yes.
So tell all of our listeners today, tell us a little bit about your life, and how was it while you were on your journey, to kind of finding what was your passion, what you really wanted to live out.
Okay. Excellent question. And I think my biggest thing was moving away from the idea of my passion only and
Mm,
moving toward cultivating my character
ah,
and clearing my heart of the culture, society, and
mm.
stereotypes so I could feel and become from a whole place.
Feel and become from a whole place. Wow.
Yeah.
That's that is amazing. And I just need to say, I think that a lot of entrepreneurs sometimes come from a different place. Sometimes that place can be, well, I'm going to show them, right?
That's good. I'm gonna prove them I
I'm
can do it.
I'm going to,
Yes, that's
but
good.
you are actually saying that you wanted to come from a whole place. That's a whole different level. I love that. So what ultimately helped you to decide to work in your chosen field, because you're amazing with all of the things that you do?
I think part of that was acknowledging that I was a gift to others. And my greatest gift was showing up 100% authentic, even with my quirks,
Yes.
even with things that I didn't know. I was comfortable saying, I don't know. I didn't have to be right all the time,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I could be a resource.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get to a place because there's pressure when you feel like you have to know it or you have to be right. So
Absolutely.
I began to eliminate those pressures
Okay.
by saying, you know what? I'm not 100% sure, but if you give me a little time, I can get back to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That freed my life. You know what I mean? Because I
Mm-hmm.
had to get away from, and it goes back to the original question you asked me. I
Mm-hmm.
had to clear my heart of the clutter, of the
Yes.
culture, of the stereotypes, because I wanted to show up from an authentic whole place.
Oh, wait
And
a
that
minute.
means I want,
Are you saying that you had to be enough?
I absolutely had to be enough. I had to
Sorry.
lean into that.
Sorry, I had
Lean
to
all.
put that in there because you was going right over. We had to make sure we say that because you didn't need anybody else's approval.
Come on. It's an art. It's an
It
art.
literally is an art. It literally is.
Yes.
And I love
Yes.
what you're bringing out already. So we have here what you do, but really, I'm just going to ask you, give us a day in a life of what you do. Give us a day in a life of when you're actually coaching with someone in a business sense. Let me frame it for you that way. Give us an example of what you do.
Perfect. Love the question in a business sense because that kind of narrows it in what I do in the everyday life. And I think I just had this similar conversation yesterday with someone who was interviewing, learning about me and my business.
Okay.
And one thing I told him, I said, what I found out is in conversations, when people come to do business, I find out we have to have another conversation first, which is
Ooh.
the part of being enough,
Mm-hmm.
which is the part of being the identity and the integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, before we talk about all this business stuff, if you're not okay on the inside, it's going to fall in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I live and do business from a whole place. For instance, one lady called me one particular day and she wanted to start an Etsy shop and launch to her next level in
Okay.
doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the conversation, she began to tell me other things that were outside of business. And I
Mm.
was able to navigate the
Yeah.
wisdom of her slowing down so that later she could speed up because she
Mm-hmm.
was going to hit a wall
That's awesome.
with the current things that she was dealing with. So,
Okay.
what I found in a day of life in business,
Mm-hmm.
people are more important than focusing on a product or a service.
Right. Because would you agree that the end product and service is really a reflection of that person and what they're going through? Would you agree with that or?
I would agree.
Mhm.
And it's not okay to suppress a situation to accomplish a task, a product, or a service
Right.
as well. And because it's going to come out in the end,
Mhm.
some way.
Some way
So
it will.
I
I
agree.
agree with that. And I mean, and I just need to piggyback off of that and literally say that your end person, your customer, your client, your member, whatever the term is, they can feel they can feel what you've put into your course, your program, your book. They can feel that. And so if you are sometimes somehow coming from a place of, oh, like, I got to get this done, I got to get this done, people can feel that. But when there's that heart thing that's in there, that wholesomeness, they can literally feel the difference. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
The
So
heart is important.
that heart is important. Okay, so let me ask you. So, what are some of the struggles and internal or external struggles that you were faced while you were deciding really to move on in the way in which you're really running your business? Just give us some insight.
I think being comfortable with showing up
Mm.
as Michelle. And what I mean by that is sometimes one of the things when I first started, I wasn't even comfortable telling people I had a business. It
Mm.
wasn't accepted. And because think about it, when I posted, this is a true story. When I posted, I became a director of a local establishment, I almost got 100 likes. I posted my business. I think I may have gotten 2 or 3 likes, and one of them was from me.
Wow.
So
Wow.
there wasn't acceptance
Mm.
in entrepreneurship. There wasn't an embracing like, go girl, you better do it. But when I worked for someone else,
Mm.
the ones around me they were more excited. They didn't appreciate or see the value in bringing gifts to the table
Wow.
and sustaining a society, building generational wealth. They weren't excited about that. It's because it wasn't on their radar. The mindset of the culture isn't cultivated for it. So
Mm.
you have to be okay. I had to be okay
Yeah.
being a trailblazer. That means it's nothing before me. I didn't have a
Definitely.
reference point. I didn't
Wow.
have a cheer team. It feels good to have a cheer team. You know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man, no one on deck.
No,
I'm
no,
out here chilling.
no one's on deck. Yeah, I think what you just said was so priceless in that a lot of times people will reject what's not common.
Yes.
Does that resonate with you?
It resonates.
Because if even the things that they've always seen in their lives is to, maybe work for somebody or this and the other, and then seeing you do that, I can see that part like, hey, wait, whoa, like what? And it's the uncommon that people are not sometimes able to connect with. That feels a little different. But
It
within
does.
you realize that you needed to really pull out what was in your heart. You realize that it can be okay building somebody else's dream as an employee, but that's really like learning, like getting all the tools that you need so that you can go forward. So how did you originally move past that? Like you heard 100 likes, go girl, da 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 da. And then two, on the end, when you kind of posted your own, how did you work through that? I'm just curious.
I think the first part was acknowledging that it didn't feel good. Can I be honest?
Let's
It was
be
very,
honest.
it
Mhm.
was very disheartening. I'm
Yeah,
like, no one was checking for me.
yeah,
Like, no,
yeah.
even those that were closest to me, I've
Mhm.
had things, and this is a struggle, right?
Yeah,
Because we want to, community is important. Let's not
right,
act like it's not.
right,
Support
right.
is important.
It is. It
And
is.
I didn't feel like I had it. And when you're in a place where you do something, you experience something to the point where I even recently opened up a full out office, and there are yet to people to step foot in there that I've been knowing for years. You've
Mm.
seen me from the bottom when I first had a dream, when it
Oh,
was simply an idea.
when it was
And
simply
I
an idea.
literally put feet to it. I
Mm.
executed. It's
Mhm.
all those memes that were posted. Don't talk about it, do about it. I am the meme.
You
And
are
you
the
still
me.
didn't show up. You still didn't show up. So it's
Yeah.
it's the part of life where you have to clear your heart. That it
Yeah.
goes back to my original answer. I
Mhm.
had to clear my heart of
Clear
the
your heart.
stereotypes, the expectations, the
Mhm.
disappointments through acknowledging them
Mhm.
and still moving forward and getting back to the original plan. I'm here to serve,
Mhm. Mm.
and it's
So,
okay.
and it's okay. So can I just say one thing? One, and I have to really interject with this one too. I myself also understand that same thing, But one thing that I actually really pulled out, and I think we're saying the same thing, is that you almost have to frame your expectations of what other people's responses will be. That makes sense?
Hmm.
I've got to
It makes
frame what other people's response would be and really what my response is going to be. I need to frame that. I need to, work on what are those expectations. And I think that once you went through that, you realize, okay, there may not be a cheering section, they may not be on board, but within you, you're fine. We have to go back to say
yes,
once again, you are enough.
absolutely, absolutely a
You are.
perfect time to say you are enough. You are absolutely enough. So I had to say that several times,
Mhm.
not only to myself and rehearse it, but
Mhm.
my proud moment in that you are enough. I
Yes.
wasn't saying it to convince myself.
Oh,
I was now saying it because I was.
because you what?
That's that's different. It's
Stop.
different.
That's That's a mic drop moment.
Go ahead.
That is so good. That is so good. And I think even with that, that can still be misconstrued where someone sees you squaring your
Mhm.
shoulders and you're ready to go, where it's confidence, but other people could see it as cockiness or being super snotty or some of those types of things. And clearly I am still stuck in the 80s. But do you understand what I'm saying about that's being confident. That's an aroma.
Yes.
That's an aroma of
Mm,
confidence. Mm,
yes.
that's
Yes.
so good.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so let's shift
Yes.
gears just a little bit. Let me ask you something. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so for all of our listeners, let everybody get to know you like super well. what would you think people would be surprised to learn about you? You know, like a fun fact, a story, something you've done, something you've experienced. Give us something that we can get to know you better by.
I think, oh goodness, like two things come to mind, but I will go with one
Okay.
that when I think a fun fact, something
Okay.
I love to share is when I was in my early 20s,
Uh-huh.
I wrote my first 30-year plan.
Girl, no, you just ready
I
to go.
should. I was like, the 5 year, 10 years. So here's the thing, my strength is strategic. So
Okay.
for those who are familiar with this thing called Clifton Strengths, you find out
Yes.
what your
Yes.
what yeah, so what your top thing is, and they'll tell you your top five. But my
Uh-huh.
number one thing is strategic, and I love strategies. I love talking
Mm.
about them. I love planning. I love
Ooh,
writing things. And
yes.
the foundational reference is that wise man that leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a person of wisdom. So
Okay.
that means I wanted to set a roadmap, not
Ooh,
saying my grandchildren have to do exactly what I do, but I
sure.
don't want to start from scratch.
Mm.
Because scratch is not a good look. It's not cute. You
Gotcha.
understand?
This whole conversation you're creating, I'm a bumper stickers and hashtags. This the whole thing. This is hashtag scratch is not cute. I mean, like what?
But do it. It's some people that pride themselves on saying, I'm going to make them work hard and think, what? Why are
Why?
you taking up my time
Oh my
when you
God.
can pave the way for me?
Stop.
So,
That's too funny. So I love that this is a fun fact for you because look at you. You thrive. I can see like the joy. Look at the smile. You know what I mean? Just so happy, to be able to be that type of forward thinker. I love that that's your fun fact. You want to share
yes,
another one?
thank you.
You want to have
I
it?
think
You want to share another one?
so. Okay. So thank you. So
Okay.
here's the other one I thought about.
What?
When I was a little girl, I used to say, and I don't know if you've ever heard me say this before, but it's whom I think my is. Because at that age, I didn't know how to say, who do you think you are? So
Oh,
I used to go around saying, whom I think my is.
oh,
But it was something core in that about
mm,
me as a person.
oh,
Because even today, in situations that come my way, good, bad, indifferent, ugly, in between,
okay.
I always say, Michelle, who are you in this situation? Because it's
Oh,
not about the other person,
yeah.
it's about me.
Love it.
And I'm like, self evaluation is like the cornerstone of life.
There's
If you
another
can't look
hashtag.
within,
Don't do that. There's another
I'm,
hashtag.
I'm ready for it.
There's another hashtag. That's awesome, Michelle. That is, like I say, that I just can't even go back over that. That is amazing. So good. So good.
Thank
Okay, so
you.
what are you most proud about in your business journey as of today?
Getting
Mm.
started.
Huh?
Getting started.
Getting started. And did you love that professionalism I just pulled out? I said, huh? Huh? What'd you say? But just getting started. That is, are you still laughing? I think, yeah, you're still
I
laughing.
am.
Okay, that's funny. I mean, I don't, what was, I mean, I have to be, I'm true myself too. I'll be like, excuse me, man, what did you say? No, it's like, huh? Anyway,
2 words. Getting started.
getting started.
Short and sweet.
Short and
I'm
sweet.
so proud.
Okay, so even
I'm very proud of that.
you should be because you know how many people don't get started?
Yes. 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 So many.
Yeah,
So many. I am so proud that I said, forget it all. I'm launching out.
do
I'm
it.
so proud that I walked away from my comfort zone. I
Mm-hmm,
walked away from the acceptance
mm-hmm,
of other people with my titles because I've held titles in corporate America and in the marketplace. And I
mm,
was praised for those, I was esteemed for those.
mm,
And I chose this route,
mm,
the unpopular route,
mm-hmm.
the where it's not the big cheer team. So I'm proud I got started.
You got started.
And I encourage others to do the same.
And that's my next question. Literally, what advice would you give new entrepreneurs?
let's go ahead and swing in it. Yeah, get started. I
Get
think
started.
that's really, but in the midst of that is becoming the person with the capacity to carry out those dreams and visions on the inside of
Okay.
you.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So in the midst of that, and I can go a little deeper, get started on you first,
yep.
which starts with building that capacity and becoming the person who can handle all those exciting things that you desire.
Yeah.
And that takes work. It takes participation.
And I think literally, but with starting with you first, it prepares you as an entrepreneur to be able to deal with even the highs, the lows, the ups and the downs. It keeps you
Mm-hmm.
grounded right from the
Mm-hmm.
very beginning. Right from the very beginning. So that's awesome. So I think the last question I really wanted to ask is what motivates you in your tough times? What keeps you going when you face challenges? What would you say to that?
Naturally and organically, believe it or not, the thing that motivates me or inspires me
Mm-hmm.
includes those little surprises along the way. It seems like when I have a moment,
Mm-hmm.
something or someone will inspire me, either a phone call out of the
Mm-hmm.
blue.
Mm-hmm.
I've even seen a social media post that brought me to tears. It's
Mm-hmm.
like at my toughest challenge, in which I had one recently. This is a true story, about 2 weeks ago, and it's on social media. I went on the Facebook, and someone I just became friends with said a post on social media said, "Don't you dare give up." Almost cried.
Wow.
It was. She don't know me. I don't even know. We just became friends because we're in some business circle together.
Wow.
And she did a simple post, "Don't you dare give up."
Don't you dare give up.
Almost
Wow.
cried.
Oh, I love
I
it.
needed to hear that. And I told her I needed this today. And it's rare that
Yeah,
I need encouragement because I'm, you know what I mean, just a
I understand.
self-starter leader in me.
I
But
understand.
there are some days where I'm like, my goodness.
Because you're human.
Absolutely.
Something
Yes.
like that. Yeah, something like that.
Thanks for the reminder. Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
so yes.
Oh,
Yes.
this is so good.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
before we actually wrap up, I'm so excited that not only did you come on the podcast, spending time today and just really letting people know that you are enough and really just encouraging them to be enough, but you're so much of enough that you actually have offered something to the listeners today. So let me put on my glasses to double check what you have offered. Because when I first read it, I was like, whoo, she is doing something amazing here. But am I to understand that you are offering 1 free month access to your program, which is actually called You Are Enough Seriously? That's literally the name. You Are Enough Seriously. You say that better than me. How would you say it? Say it. Come on, win it. Come on, lean in. Say it for me.
Yes. You are enough. Seriously.
See, that's why you needed to say it. That's awesome. Okay. But along with this is that you're offering a 1 month of membership. And in that time frame, people will receive weekly motivation, inspiration, and follow-up work as you grow, as really will grow into the journey of being enough. And that just comes from a place of simply existing. And then I
Yeah.
love you also said that you always want people to remember that you are enough seriously. It looks like your website where people can connect with you for this particular offer is youareenoughseriously.com.
Yes.
.com. So, Michelle, I just want to thank you so much for being a guest today. If you could just take us out with one word to encourage everyone, what would that one word be?
Enough.
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 Enough. Oh, so much
Yeah.
emotion behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Enough. Okay, well, thank you, Michelle, so much for being on the podcast. I look forward to talking with you, and we'll make sure our listeners connect with you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now from the conversation room. Bye.
Bye.